Super important one today. I'm going to be going over low slope and what kind of roofing system you need to install if this actually applies to you. This is something that's going to come up not as much on residential, but that's the part I'm going to hone down on because it is overlooked quite a good bit. Because whether your roofer knows or not, a roll roofing system is actually a commercial application. Reason being, when this comes into play is going to be when your roof pitch is anywhere from a 0-12, which as you can guess is a completely flat roof, up to a 2-12 pitch. This is really critical because once the roof gets that flat, shingles no longer come into play and it is actually code to make sure that you are putting down a roll roofing system. So couple quick things I'm going to go over in this video is why it gets overlooked as much as it does, the proper install guides and where to find them, some things you may want to keep in mind whenever you're doing a roll roofing system. I'm going to cover the basics as far as installation, but as far as proper installation, what you guys really need to do is go to mulehide.com and they have great instructional videos. I recommend you going and watching all those. I don't care if you just do shingles, this is something you're going to run into on the occasion. People add addition to their home, making them super flat, and this is something that may need to get changed during your next re-roofing project. So I'll dive right in. Why I think this gets overlooked is a lot of people just are not familiar with building codes. What they try to do is just put shingles on everything that's on the roofing surface to kind of keep it uniform looking. The only few exceptions I will say is occasionally when a front porch gets built on a home, it's not very steep and some HOAs require that you can't put a roll roofing system on the front, and that's going to lead to an exception to where we can put shingles down. The recommendation I would make in this application is to make sure you put something called leak barrier down. That way it increases the chances of you not having a leak. However, it's still not something I recommend, but because of aesthetics, it is something where you may be able to get by. Another reason why I think it also gets overlooked is because it is a little bit more of an expensive application compared to shingles, mainly due to the fact the labor is just going to be a little bit more as far as slapping shingles down unless you can get good pricing on a price per square roll. The basics. What it is two separate rolls that are 3 feet in length that actually have a different coverage for base sheet versus for your cap sheet. And there's a big difference because the base sheet is, as you can guess, going to go down first as the base of the system on top of the roof decking. This is going to be rolled out and mechanically attached, so it's going to typically be cap nailed down to the roof decking. And then once that is done, you're going to put the cap sheet on top. And it's a very simple application. The cap sheet actually does not have fasteners driven through it, but it is just heat sealed from the adhesive on the back end. The cap sheet, it's very critical when you're talking to a homeowner, if at all possible, because I know Mulehide has a few different colors, so does GAF Liberty. You want to match the roof shingles as good as possible. That way it just has the best finished look, especially if it's something that can be seen from the ground. When it's heated up, it's not done just yet. You want to make sure your installers are bringing a 70-pound roller up there and they're rolling over the whole surface back and forth to make sure it is properly sealed. I hear it from commercial guys and I hear it from manufacturers. When this application does leak, a lot of the time it's due to improper installation. When they go to tear up the product, they see that the only parts that are really sealed are the footprints from where the installers were walking around on the cap sheet. Make sure you're training your subs properly when they just typically install shingles to when they do a roll roofing application, it's being sealed down properly, and that's going to save you a lot of headaches in the future. Hope this video helps. Stay tuned for the next one.